What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Campus Cuts. I'm your host, Tanaka Tava, and today I have a special guest. I know I say every guest is special, but every guest is special because they're unique and they're uniquely created by God. So we got to shout it out to them for the one time. This has been a long time coming. I've been wanting to have her on the podcast, but our schedules have never aligned. She is a RD, a newly minted registered dietitian. She's a fitness girl. She's an artist. She's a dancer. She's somebody that is representing Nigeria. She is so fun. Somebody smile who brightens up everybody's day. One of the most focused people that I know. One of the most kindest people that I know. And she is so genuine. I've known her for my past 4 years, and it's been nothing but love, radiating lights, no matter what circumstances. Literally, she's the epitome of 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says, always be joyful in every circumstance. Always say thanks to the Lord. My home girl. And I just recently learned that her first name was Alice a couple years ago. I thought her name was Chioma the whole time. But no, her name is Alice. Alice, Chioma on the podcast. What's up?
Yes. Hello. Thank you for having me. Yes. First name Alice, middle name Chioma. But I've gone by Chioma for the majority of my life. So
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast, Chioma. I'm so excited that you're here.
thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to chop it up.
You know what I'm saying? So, of course, I gave my very emphatic, passionate intro, but of course, I want you to introduce yourself. So, what is your name? Where you at? And what you doing? You know, like where you at? Like, what, I guess, year you're in? And we'll move on from there.
All right. Well, he just said it. My name is Alice Chioma Aladume. I go by Chioma or Chichi, or Chiomzi. I have a lot of nicknames. Currently, I am a registered dietitian. Just passed my board exam about 2 months ago in August. Oh, no, it's 3 months ago now. Wow, time flies. Registered dietitian. We praise God. Also a personal trainer, and I'm also finishing my master's up at Baylor University, master's in nutrition sciences. And I graduated in less than a month. So that's crazy because I went by really, really fast. It's kind of weird because technically I was still a senior in college last year in 2020, right, in the spring of 2020. And now I'm finishing my master's in less than a month. So we praise God. And yeah, did I answer your question?
Yeah. So how does it feel, man? Like, wow, like it's been a long time coming. How does it feel to be at this point of your life where you're about to like graduate with now a master's? Like, how are you feeling?
You know, it's funny. I keep getting that question like lately. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, how do you feel? Are you counting down?" And every time they ask, I'm like, "No, I'm not counting down." I don't know how to explain it. It's more of like I think I'm just savoring these last few weeks of like just being. I mean, I've been in Waco for almost 6 years now, and I originally had only planned to be there 4 years, but God had other plans, and I'm just kind of savoring the time I have left. It went by very, very quickly. And I would say I am excited. I haven't felt that nervousness yet of like going into the real world, like the working, whatever. I haven't felt that yet, but I feel like I'll probably feel it maybe when I walk across the stage and I'm like, wait, I'm not going back to school after this,
Yeah.
or at least right now. So yeah. But I mean, I'm excited.
Are you going to get a PhD? Are the parents going to push you to PhD, doctor?
Let's finish the master's first. We'll think about that one later. I don't know about that one. Let me rest. Let me take a break. Yeah. But no, I'm very excited. I just feel blessed, to be quite honest, because I remember when I first finished my dietetic. Well, we were about to graduate from undergrad, and I got into the dietetic internship program at Baylor. And originally Baylor was not my first choice, but because I didn't want to stay in Waco any longer, but you know, it happened. And then their program was combined with the Master's in Nutrition Sciences, and we had a choice to complete it or to like finish the first year and then transfer and go finish it somewhere else. And originally I was like, I'm not staying at Baylor. I got to find somewhere else. But you know, eventually it was like, you know what? It's only one more semester. If I just, you know, do my summer classes and finish, I'll be done in December. And December is here. Because originally I thought it was going to take like a year and a half. Sounded like too long to be in Waco again. But it came and it went. So it was like time really does not wait for you. Whether you do it or not, time is going to be like, I'm leaving, you know?
Yeah. That is interesting. The fact that you know that that time doesn't wait for you, right? Like time waits for no one. So that's actually a good question. So what is your relationship with time? Yeah, I know that's so random and so esoteric, but what's your relationship with time now compared to your relationship with time back when you say 4 years ago when you first came as a student at Baylor?
Relationship with time. I would say I definitely feel like as I've gotten older, time it seems like time is going by faster. Like back in the day, I always joke that back in the day, a month used to seem like a very long time, but now a month is almost nothing to me. Like a month can come and go. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like right now, the place I'm at, I've been trying to live in the present more
Mm,
because just looking back and seeing how fast time can go, especially when you're either always looking back or looking forward. I realize a lot of times we neglect where we are right now and like savoring where we are right now because we're ruminating about the past or we're worried about the future. But it's kind of weird because this present we have right now is gonna become a past one day. And we're gonna be looking back on that like, oh, I wish I would have. It's like, well, you're here right now. Why don't you just, you know what I mean? So I guess my relationship with time, yeah, is just trying to live in the present and taking it all in. But then also, I'm trying, it's still a work in progress, but I'm trying to be mindful of my time and not spending, scrolling on TikTok. And, obviously, like, I want to, instead of just being a consumer of content, trying to also create, use the gifts God has given me to also be a part of the creation instead of just consuming, you know.
yeah. That is good. That's also it is a good time shift of understanding that everybody has a gift no matter what, right?
Mhm.
Everybody has an opportunity to continue to create and put something out there. And I really love how you did say that each like in our society, we do spend too much time thinking about the past
Mhm.
or too much time living in anxiety. So
Yeah.
was there like a specific event that made you be learn how to be more mindful, and how has mindfulness, you attempting and learning or cultivating the gift of mindfulness, change your life?
Specific event. I would say there's multiple events, but I think the one that comes to mind right now is just seeing my parents get older. I don't know
Um,
because I guess I see them and obviously they still look very young for their age. God, praise God. But I guess I didn't really it didn't register that they were getting older. And I'm like, wait a second, like
mm,
parents are getting older, like the knee problems. I'm like, wait a second, being
mm,
away from home for 5, 6 years, whatever, at college, and just realizing that I don't have time. Like tomorrow isn't promised, basically.
yeah,
Like tomorrow isn't
yeah.
promised. Like seeing a lot of people who have lost their lives from COVID and just old age or whatever, it just made me realize I don't want to let this time that I have pass me by. Like this time I have right now is a blessing, like with the people who are around me, my parents, my siblings. So just trying to live in gratitude and just savoring that really. I feel like that's really the biggest thing that made me feel like I need to be more mindful and just be in the present and be of my time is just really realizing my parents have gotten older like right before my eyes and even like seeing my sister go to college and you know different things like that. So it just made me like, whoa,
Mm,
I need to,
yeah.
yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! And of course, it's I'm gonna write this as a Thanksgiving special or post Thanksgiving special. You know what I'm saying? Like you were talking about gratitude, right? And understanding. Okay, yeah, it's Thanksgiving. Everybody's feeling grateful and thankful. What were some of the things that you were thankful for this past year? Like as you were reflected, as you sat down at the dinner table, what are some of the thoughts that came up to mind?
Okay, first thing that came to mind obviously was my family, but another thing, another thing that I've been really grateful for is the way I've been able to grow in my relationship with Yahweh, with the Father,
Yeah,
because um, it's just been amazing. Because like obviously, like I grew up in a Christian household, like me personally, but it's just something that happens when you go to college. It's almost like now it's up to you. Like you have to figure this out, like choose your path for yourself almost and get to know. It's almost like you're forced to get to know him by yourself. It's like, all right, because no one's forcing you to wake up on Sunday and go to church, and no one's forcing you, So, but just over this past year, kind of my relationship with God really accelerated, and I'm grateful. I had like specific communities over Zoom that have kept me just like in communion. I mean, you're part of one of them for your squad. Yeah. So I feel like those communities that I've been in have really helped me like stay centered, you know what I mean? And just in my relationship with God and growing with them, and then outside of that, and getting to know who I am like in Christ, and just learning, like being able to see other people my age, the struggles they're going through, the gems they're getting from their walk with Christ, the things they're learning. I'm able to apply it to myself, and it's helped me just be able to navigate life with more peace, I would say, and more joy. I mean, even when things aren't like amazing, but I still have that joy, because at the end of the day, it's like Jesus, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just very grateful for that, and just the amount of knowledge I've gained, and just seeing the Bible in new ways has been amazing. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. That's really good. And especially that the community tip, right? What does community mean to you?
Community. Community is very important to me. Um, Community means just, first of all, I believe community is a safe space with, and it doesn't even have to be like-minded individuals, but a safe space where you can come together with other people, whether it's from the same walks of life, different walks of life, and you can come together on whether it's common ground, or you can have knowledgeable, not arguments, but conversations, and you guys are bouncing off of each other. Like, what's it called? Iron sharpens iron. Like, everyone's sharpening each other, learning new things. We're unlearning things, old things. So I just feel community is like a safe space where you can come to talk, come to converse, grow together, sharpen each other. Um, yeah, I think there's a verse in the Bible that's coming to my mind where it's like something about two is better than one, because when two lay together.
Ecclesiastes
Yeah.
3.
And there's
Yep.
there's like three different verses in the Bible where it's talking about that two is always better than one, because I think there's a verse that talks about when one lies by themselves, how can they keep themselves warm? But when two are together, they can keep each other warm. So there's just a lot of symbolism of two is always like a stronger unit than being alone. So I'm very huge advocate for having a community.
Right. And it's funny because most people kind of interpret that text as something that, like, as a way for to rush into relationships, like a romantic relationship. And it's like, no, 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 no.
You gotta read
It's
the whole
more about communion, like community, and being able to be like with other people who are pushing each other and making sure they're supporting each other, and we're keeping each other accountable and helping each other continue to build on top of that,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, for sure. A lot of there's a lot of verses in the Bible that can get taken out of context. That's why it's important to read the whole thing. But yeah, two. Even the Bible says where two or three are gathered, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So that community, even when we have that like prayer squad with those communities, the Holy Spirit's like, oh, let me get in here. There's two or three gathered.
Yeah. Yes, yes. And so I want to go back into something that you said a little bit, right? Like you have a better understanding of who you are, right? Because at the most of the time, like we are, our identities are kind of linked to our profession, our work, especially us as people who have been in the art world or the creative world where most of our work is praised, and most people take that as their identity. Like, who is Chioma? Who are you? Like, like, where do you place your value, or where did you used to place your value compared to where do you place your value now?
That's a great question. uh, where do where did I used to? Okay, I guess I go over where did I used to place it, and even now, I can't even fully say used to, because it's still a renewal process. I feel like, and I'm allowing Christ to renew that in me. But I would say I've come a long way. But where I used to get my value or my identity is really just it's kind of where a lot of people still get their value now or their identity is like from what the world says. Like, okay, um, is my business doing really well? Like, okay, then I'm like the successful personal trainer, or like, oh, I'm a dietitian now, so I'll get that. I'll get my identity from there, or even maybe just like how others is like my identity came from how I feel like others are seeing me. Like, okay, do they like me? Do they want to hang out with me? Do they invite me places? Like especially like throughout college, do they like how I look? Do they? It's always about they. That's really, I think that's how I can sum up where I used to get my identity from is they, them, someone
Mm,
else, and a person, someone, a group of people. So I would allow other people to tell me if I'm good enough, if that makes sense.
mm,
And then I say now I'm learning that my identity is in Christ. That's what I'm learning. Like I'm a daughter of the Most High King. And I don't know how to explain it any way else, And obviously, I'm not saying like I'm a daughter of the Most High King, But I think it's just a blessing to see. Like I don't have to get my identity from what other people are saying about me because those things are not based on truth. Because me, the word is the truth. So I go by like that's my standard now, the truth. So anything else is a lie pretty much. Right. So what other people are telling me, oh, you need to dress like this, you need to look like this, your body needs to look like this, all the places I used to get my value from, it's being sloughed away as I
mm.
go deeper into my relationship with Christ, And so like just I'm a daughter of the Most High King, I'm here to serve, I'm here to, you know, make people smile, just that's really all I can. I hope that makes sense.
No, that's beautiful. So you used to be. I'm not going to press, but I'm going to press it because we chop it up real life. So you used to be a people pleaser.
Yes.
Yeah, and same likewise. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think that's actually a huge problem people have. And even now, again, like I said, I'm learning. I'm learning it in certain areas, but I didn't realize I was a people pleaser until I think after my senior year, maybe. Then I realized,
Really?
yeah, I was like, why? I just realized I would be saying yes to people or things that I would have rather said no to. Okay, why? Like, why am I doing that? Is it because? And I realized it's because I was attaching my value and my identity to if they liked me and if they um, were pleased by me. You know what I mean? So I didn't
Mm,
want anyone to see me in a bad light or to not like me. So in order to avoid that, I made sure to please everyone or try to. So, but yeah,
mm.
it's a big thing people struggle with right now. People pleasing.
Of course, absolutely, absolutely, and I think one of the repercussions of us continuing to be the constant people pleasers is the fact that we start losing ourselves. We start losing ourselves, and each and every time we say yes to something that we don't want to do,
Yeah.
because there's a thing to die to self. There's a thing to be able to continue to serve, but there's also like a thing called like there's a quotient of self preservation
Mhm.
and thank you, Gogo. My grandma said I got mail, and we end up being empty,
Mhm.
and then when we're empty and we keep going, it's like we're a styrofoam cup. We go from being like a hard cup to a styrofoam cup, and then people are like, how as little kids we take it off and it's ripping, and it's and then after that you're left with nothing, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, and it's like you can't even recognize yourself anymore. You know.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and that's a hard and dark spot to be in. Not fun at all. Coming from talking from personal experience,
Mhm.
and it's bad.
Mhm. Yeah.
Wait, so for you, how are you able to? What are some like I guess more practical tips for you? Because I know people have been inspired and moved by each and every guest that I've had. What are some practical tips, boundaries that you've placed in your life in order to make sure that you are not getting your cup stripped away?
Practical tips. Practical tips. First thing that comes to mind is, I mean, I'll go deeper, but knowing who you are. it starts with that, because if you really don't know who you are, then you're gonna say yes to, like you said, a lot of things that, because if you know who you are, then you have a standard now, so you know what you
Mm.
accept, you know what you say yes to, you know what you say no to. But if that foundation is shaky, then if someone wants to go this way, you'll go that way, you'll go that, because there's no foundation. So really having a foundation, and you really have to sit with yourself. I guess this can be the practical advice. Really sitting with yourself and taking that time to really say, who am I? What are my standards? And even writing it down. What do I accept? What do I not accept? What is the truth? So I feel like if you have that written down, that standard. Now it's easier said than done, because you can write all that down and still be people pleasing. But it's a work in progress. And I would say, like, write that down, your standards, and then also, like, but giving yourself grace, I think, is a huge thing, because I used to do this thing where, I felt like I was at a place where, okay, I know who I am now, but then I would find myself still people pleasing, and I'd beat myself up. And the beating of myself up would almost make me just stay down, instead of being like,
Mm.
instead of brushing myself off and being like, it's okay. We're still just because you fell down doesn't mean that you were starting over. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're running a race and you fall, that doesn't mean that suddenly your body teleported back to the beginning of the line. Like, you fell right there. You can get back up and continue. So I think really the practical advice is really sitting down and sitting with yourself and figuring out what you want to accept, what you don't want to accept, and then just giving yourself grace and allowing yourself to just be a part of the journey of your growth, of the renewal of your mind, as you start
Mm.
to who you are and who you are. But you have to walk in it, because you can know who you are and then not walk in it, and it's a work in progress. So
That's good. That's really good. I like this. This right now. I'm saying on air is the clip that I'm going to use for the IG, because I mean, like, I know this is going to be so free. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was so good. That's so good. Being able to sit. If you haven't caught that, sit with yourself, write down your values, write down your standards, write down who you are, and understand that, you know what, even if you do fall, that does not mean you start over. You fell right there. And I think that's one of the things when we talk about our relationship with our success and failure. When people think they fail, they think, oh my gosh, everything is over. But no, you just failed at that moment right there.
yeah.
But you really, really fail when you quit,
Mhm.
because you starting over and getting yourself up and dusting it off, like, it's okay. Like, I mean, and honestly, I think failure is what is the best teacher, because you don't learn when you succeed, you learn when you fail.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree, because I know a lot of people are afraid of failure, because even, I guess I'll give like my clients, some of my online personal training clients as an example, and even myself at a certain point, before I started my fitness journey. But it's like, let's say you start a program, and it's 6 weeks long. Maybe the first week you're going hard, and then the weekend came and you ate everything. So you feel like I've talked to a lot of people, they feel like, oh, I messed up all my progress. So I'm just gonna stop. I've heard that a lot. So, and I used to do that too. It's like, dang, I missed the whole week of workouts. What's the point? And it's like,
Mm.
no, just keep going. You know what I mean? Again, easier said than done. But once you really get that, like, in your head, that even if you miss 2 weeks of workouts, that doesn't mean suddenly, because what happens is a lot of my clients, they would tell me that would happen, and then they would go back to however they were eating or working or not working out. And then they'll be like, okay, like 3 months later, they were like, okay, let's start over. And it's like, imagine if you had just kept going and not,
Mm.
the cycle of starting over, so like waiting 6 months. And like, just keep going. Even if you miss a month, don't say you're starting, just keep it pushing. But yeah.
Yeah. So now with that, that's a great segue. Your fitness journey, of course, like, I mean, I've seen your transformation. You look amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, from like, what made you want to get into fitness? And in you really being able to take your fitness journey seriously.
Yes. Okay. So it really started. I never worked out like at the gym until I think freshman year of college. So
Oh
2016.
wow.
Yeah, 2016. Like, I was always fit, because I did competitive hip hop in high school. Like, I was a lot of cardio. I was dancing all the time. So, but like, in terms of lifting weights, I was introduced to lifting weights 2016. So from there, it was kind of like an off and on thing where I would work out for 2, 3 weeks straight. Then exam week would come up, so I would stop for 6 months, even though exam week doesn't last for 6 months. But that's what would happen, you know. And I feel like that's what would happen to a lot of people. But I think what happened was, I think it was spring, fall of 2019. I was basically, for lack of better words, I was at Penland every single day, and Penland did me dirty. But no, basically, I think COVID happened, lockdown happened, and I gained about. I hope this doesn't trigger anybody. I'm talking about weight, but I gained about like 30 pounds.
Really?
And yeah,
No way.
you couldn't see. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you couldn't tell, but it was there.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was fall of 2019, and then spring of 2020 came. I got back from Nigeria, and I was like, okay, I'm not. I just realized like, okay, I need to. I don't like this. Basically, I was like, I don't like where I'm at. Like, I wasn't working out at all. I think I went to the gym one time that whole semester, and then one more time in the spring of 2020. And I was like, I don't like feeling like this. Like, I want, because I knew I had a passion for fitness, but it's like, how can I tell people and give them advice when I'm not taking my own advice type stuff? You know what I mean?
Mm.
You know, I was majoring, like, I was about to graduate nutrition sciences, become an RD, and it's like, I'm not even taking my own advice, you know, and I wanted to. And I was just tired of wishing, you know, that I could be that person that was consistent in the gym. Because I would always be on Instagram, like, oh,
Yeah.
like, she's always in the gym. Like, I wish that was me. Oh, she's
Mm.
so toned. I wish that, you know, I was like, oh, I wish. And I was doing that for years. And I think I just got fed up. That was really what happened. I got fed up. That's all I can say. And then it was May of 2020, and the gyms were still all closed. I remember I was working out on the roof of Park Place Apartments. I would go there and do a workout, and I stopped buying fast food for the most part. Like I was very strategic in the way I did it because I knew trying to just go cold turkey on everything that I enjoyed wouldn't be great long term. So I would have back then, like I had like a cheat day or
Yeah.
cheat weekend where like I love burgers. I would go to Whataburger on the weekend. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was really just me getting fed up and then deciding that I was gonna take this seriously. I was gonna commit, and then I just made a plan that worked for me, basically. You know,
Mm.
and then the rest is history. Because I remember I was like 2 months in, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm still working out. Because by now I would have given up, like in the past. And then 3 months in, and it was 4 months in, and then 6 months in, and it was 8 months in, and now it's been almost 2 years. I'm like, wow, you know, so it's really crazy. But honestly, once you start seeing the results and you see the fruits of your labor, you don't want to go back, to be quite honest.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right. So let me ask you this, right? Because most of the time, most people work out in order to look a certain way. They say, I want to work out because I want to look like this for the summertime. And after that, they get there, but then, then they let themselves go.
Yeah,
When really working out is not about looking good. That's a byproduct.
it's the right product.
It's a byproduct of you taking care of yourself. What working out is and what it really should be, and this is how, like it happened. This is how I started framing is yes, I'm training for this or whatever, but really I'm doing it for the longevity of my health because I truly believe that true wealth is your health. I saw a billboard the other day when I was driving, and it said like, oh, true health is your wealth. If you want to get rich, come to the hospital or something like that. Great marketing and branding by the hospital, whatever. But like, so like go get the vaccine or something. I don't know, some crazy BS. And I'm like, oh, okay. But no, but honestly though, because it's really crazy to see that how, of course, statistic, when we look at the stats, Mexico's number one in being obese. Number two is the United States. Number three is like, I'm not sure what number three is, but I know it's Mexico, United States, and then of course, some countries in South America. And we're living in the culture where it's all about work, grind. It's so funny because growing up, you hear from our parents, oh, I'm working this hard so I can take care of y'all. But are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of your health? And are you taking care of your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health? What type of things are you doing in order to cultivate, in order for you to be in the best holistic shape that you can continue showing up to be able to serve and enlighten people each and every day, right? And if you aren't doing that, it's such a thing because and this is my personal philosophy. Most of these jobs take us away from our families in order for them to make them money. And then after that, we get a little pension, little paycheck, whatever, whatever. And then we have a little of the weekend and we're tired by the weekend. We don't even have time to work out. People say, oh, I don't have time to work out because I'm so busy trying to be on my grind or whatever. But it's like, you can't be on your grind if you're sick.
Right? No, that's so true. Like the thing you said of, because it's a big thing right now of, everyone wants a certain body. I guess I'll speak for like women. Everyone wants the small waist and the big butt and and it's like if some people feel like they can't get it from the gym, they'll go do surgery. And I even see some people like I'll see some people brag like, oh, like my body looks naturally good, so I don't have to work out. And
Mm,
it's like we've created this atmosphere where it's like you're only work out if you don't look good already and you want to look good or stay looking good. And it's like, well, that's good and great. Like, yes, we all want to look good, whatever, but it's like right now, what we're in our 20s, or and we're in our 20s, and it's like we're not gonna be young forever. I feel like we forget that
no.
sometimes. We forget. I feel like sometimes as young people, we feel invincible almost.
Yes.
And we forget that if we are not taking care of ourselves right now, we're gonna be the ones bones cracking when we're 45.
Yeah.
We're gonna wish we had at least took a jog when we were 25. We're gonna at least
Yeah.
be gone to the gym at least twice a week, Because again, yes, like we all want to look great, snatched, whatever, but health, like health is the wealth. If you I don't know. I don't want my bones to be cracking around 45. I don't want to be out of breath trying to do what I love to do. Like, I'm a dancer. I don't want to be like, "Ugh, I can't even keep up anymore." You know what I mean? I want to be able
Yeah.
to stay ahead of the game. So,
Right, right, right. And staying ahead of the game is like it's longevity, man. Like, because I realize because everybody wants things so quick, like if honestly, well, yes, we're fit people, but people don't understand. Like, yo, it's taking years for us and consistency, and we're starting over,
you hear
and
that noise?
getting back.
It's
Huh?
like a static noise.
From my end,
Yeah. Is there static on mine?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
Okay. I don't know. I can hear you. It's just like a weird static noise that's attached. I just hope it's not attached to my podcast.
No. I'm hearing you perfectly sounding well. Oh. That's what happens when I go on. But I was saying, people realize that it's taking a lot of work for us to be at. But even then, we still want to keep on being consistent. And being consistent is the key to longevity. And longevity is honestly the answer to me. Because if you don't have any longevity, because I really am trying to be fit until 60 plus, because I want to play with my grandkids. I want to go with them in the woods. I want to, have fun with them. I want to go skydiving and climbing when I'm old or when I'm older. Because honestly, I feel like, and also I really think it's like a state of mind too. Because when you look at, what fitness is, it's like, or like aging, um, you know, people make themselves older mentally than they have to be. And then it translates into the physical. Like it's the metaphysical translating to the physical, because what we think really does
Yeah.
comes into reality. And how we think and how we move. And that's why it's very important to again read the scripture, renew our mind, but also keep on making sure that we're feeding our mind and our mentality with great positive stuff and positive thinking in order for us to continue to operate in the world in a very unique way. Because it's so crazy because like us doing what we're doing now, we would be considered in the top 1%, and that should be normal, not like an anomaly.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. It's just because, like, am I echoing?
No, mm-mm.
Okay, cool. Making sure. Um, that's just like the way society, just the way society is right now. Like the videos we're bombarded with, the things young people are seeing. It's creating again this atmosphere of like working out is not a normal thing to do. It's if you want to look good, like if you're like you said the top 1%, like, oh, you know what I mean. Like most people, like I'll see videos like I'll be on my TikTok, and it'll be somebody who they show their results, like they were working out and they were meal prepping, And I see some people in the comments are saying, "Oh, that's weird. Like I could never do that. I don't know how y'all people do that. Like y'all I've been seeing people like saying, "Oh, if you ever track your calories, then you have an eating disorder." I've been seeing that lately. And the thing is, tracking your calories for some people can turn into an eating disorder. I've seen that before. Like, so you have to really know yourself, or if you have a client, know your client. Like for me, I can track my calories and get my results, and then come off of it whenever I want to. But it's just this. It just seems like the thing of like working out and looking good is something that's not attainable for everyone, or
Mm,
not everyone can do it, when it should be common practice to just even take a walk, to move our bodies, because we sit a lot more now. Offices, when people are working their 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 9 to 5, whatever, we're sitting a lot, and then we come home. Most people are too tired to work out, or it seems like that's not important. So I think it's just the environment we're in. I think there needs to be a shift in how people view fitness, and I feel like there is a shift right now, kind of coming. I feel like people are starting to realize how important how you're eating and how you're working out is, and how it affects so many areas of your life. But I think we still need more of that, especially in the younger kids that are coming up, I feel like.
yeah, yeah. Especially with the way that we interact with technology too, right? Because it's just like it's a lot of screens. Us looking at the screens. A lot of the younger kids, just like being glued to the screen and not. I don't know, man. It's a very interesting time, but I do feel like a shift is coming too.
Yeah,
A good shift is coming.
I feel that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel it.
So now, like, getting the man, damn, it's almost time. Wow, I can't believe time goes by fast. Okay, so now these are like typical, like my closer to the end of the show questions, and so it's like the kind of the bigger stuff. So my first question for you is, what would you like to see change in the United States, you personally?
What would I like to see change in the United States? That's a loaded question.
I know.
There needs to be a lot of change. But I would say I want to go from, I'm speaking from my viewpoint of like being a nutrition professional.
Yeah,
I think because just in like what I've learned over the past 5 years, whatever, even more recently, again, like I was saying, how important or how huge of a factor nutrition actually is when it comes to the myriad of disease states that people end up with in their, whether they're young or old, mostly like their older years. A lot of it is connected back to nutrition, and
yeah,
I feel like people are starting to realize that. It's kind of again, the whole thing of I'm young, I'm invincible, I can kind of eat however I want, but there's so many disease states that are connected back to like gut health,
yeah,
and how you eat affects gut health. So I feel like that's one thing that I would like to see in the
yeah,
US is just more education on that. And there's still a lot of research being done on that, of course, like gut health, and people take probiotics and prebiotics, but there's just so much to learn. So I feel like that's one thing I would like, the change I would like to see is just educating even from a younger age the importance of, and I know it sounds so like eat your vegetables, kids, but no, eat your vegetables, kids, because that fiber can save your life. Not gonna, and it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but no, because fiber plays a huge part in gut health, and gut health plays a huge part in whether or not you develop heart disease, coronary artery disease, cancer. It's linked to so many things. So just
hmm,
more awareness of the huge importance, like just really hammering it in. Like nutrition is very important, not just to look good, but to live. Like
yeah.
it's very important.
Yes, yes, you're absolutely right. That gut health is so big, man. And I'm still learning so much about it too, because no matter how athletic you might think you are, because our gut is really responsible for a lot of how, like, gets to the core, our spinal cord, the way the endocrine system, the muscular system. There's so much our gut actually controls. Like how we even our nerve, like, bro,
There's so much. It's loaded. I'm telling you.
it's loaded. And you know what? I really like that. I really like that answer. So thank you for sharing that. My next question for you is, um, What are 3 things that you would say to your 18-year-old self? You're 24 now?
23.
23.
Going on
Dang,
20.
that's great.
Okay.
Oh,
So 3 things I would say to my 18-year-old self.
yeah, yeah,
That was what, 5 years ago?
yeah.
What would I say? I would say number one. Wow. I'm really thinking back. I'm like thinking back to my 18-year-old self and how she thought. And I would say to, first of all, find a community.
Mm,
Find a community of specifically just like knowing myself at 18. I would say find a community of, believers, people who are seeking, seeking knowledge in the word. Find a community and grow with them. First of all, I would say that's number one thing I would tell myself. Number two is I would tell my 18-year-old self um, that your identity and your value does not come from other people and
mm.
other things. Because that was a huge thing for me. Like I said earlier, I would tell her your value, your identity does not come from other people or how much attention you get from guys, even. Or, yeah. So that's number two. Number three, I would say do not shrink yourself for the comfort of other people.
Yeah.
Because that was a huge thing. Because I know sometimes um, I can be very like, woo, and when I would get in certain environments, I feel like I'd have to shrink myself to fit in. Like I was trying to fit in with certain groups. Like I would mold myself. Like okay, they're like this, so I need to like not be so weird or around them or whatever. So I would say don't shrink yourself for the sake of other people. Um, yeah. So those are my three.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And my last question for you is, actually no, before we go to the next question, that's really good. That's really good. Don't shrink yourself, because when we shrink ourselves, it's not even the fact that we're doing that disservice to ourselves. We're actually doing a disservice to who God created us to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's true.
The bomb right there, man. Man,
So
that's that was really really good.
thank you.
And thank you, so thank you for sharing that, Chi. And my last question for you is, what do you want your legacy to be? Actually, no. Are you happy? Are you happy?
Yes, I am actually. Now, when I say I'm happy, I think of it more like I have joy, you know.
Mm,
But I heard something somewhere. It was like usually happiness is based on happenings. So a lot of people base
yeah,
their happiness on what is happening right now. If good things are not happening, then I'm not happy. You know what I mean? If good things are happening, then I am happy. And it's like become this, all over the place. Like our circumstances or the people around us can dictate when we're happy and when we're not. But
right.
I have joy. Well, I am happy, but I have joy again because I know who and whose I am, really.
Mm,
You know? Yeah,
mm. Wow, that's good. That's so good. And now my last question for you is, what do you want your legacy to be?
my legacy. I want my legacy to be. I guess is that like what do I want to be remembered for? Kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I want to be remembered for bringing smiles and laughter to people. Smiles, laughter, and just spreading the love of Christ. That's it. Full stop.
That, that's amazing.
Yep.
Well, this is my last segment of the show. It's the Speak Life segment where I just speak life over my guest. Um, Chi, I'm so grateful to be your friend. You are a pure joy in your love. I am inspired by your creativity. I'm inspired by your discipline. I'm inspired by the way that you continue to put other people and I'm inspired by your growth and who you become. I remember when we first chopped it up, you were quiet, you were to yourself, you know what I'm saying? But seeing the evolution of Chioma, it's just been such an amazing ride. Thank you for allowing me to continue to be part of this, roller coaster rocket ship with you and being able to walk in community. Your devotion to Christ, your devotion to fitness, your devotion to being able to be a good steward of what you've been given and being able to give it to other people is it keeps me going. And I'm so blessed by your presence, and I'm so blessed by your wisdom and your genuine care. And I just want to say thank you so much for all the times that you given me a high five, a hug, motivation, inspiration. I'm just so grateful part of your life, and I know that you do some amazing things. You are doing amazing things now, but you're going to also do amazing things in the way that you are impacting people to renew their minds in the image of who their self. You're doing some very important work. Everybody's doing important work, but you are doing the transformational work, saying that, hey, I'm going to get these people fit. I'm going to make these people understand their body image and changing the way that they think about themselves and making them more confident. Not because it's my own duty, but you know where it comes from. Like, yo, you already know, and each and every time you see a person, you know they're enough and they've been enough because of who they were created and because you know whose you are, and you're helping them do that. And so, in your way, so that's incredible. I'm so proud to be your friend. I'm so proud of you, and keep crushing it. I love you.
I love you too, Tanaka. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm also blessed. I'm so blessed to be your friend. Like, truly, you're a blessing. You're amazing. You're a gift. Thank you.
I received that, dog. I received that. Where can the people find you at if you want them to find you
No, for sure. Um, I was gonna say my old Instagram. My Instagram.
at? She got hacked.
It's okay. I'll get it back. I don't know. But anyway, you can find me at Alice Aladume on Instagram and at Coach Chi Fit on TikTok. So Coach Chi Fit on TikTok. Yeah, those are the two places.
Yeah. Follow her on TikTok, Coach Chief Fits, and Alice on Instagram. We are out.
All
Thank you
right.
so much, Pete. Thank you so much for everybody that listens to watch it. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. It doesn't matter because I'll be chilling anyway. We